watching me like a nigga is cable. I'll be on no label, but my clothes be all labels.
Siento bien, pero otra vez entro con la.
Okay, I'm working hard so to stay focused. Open late notice, got a case, hoping weight spoken on paper. They just want me to pay. White girl want me to stay. Black world want me to say no. I could never be a scared nigga. I pray to God I know he hear me. Niggas fear me cause I'm thinking clearly. Please, please, please don't spare me no tears. I come here bearing no arms. I wear my heart on my sleeve. Protect that shit like a charm. I see it all when I breathe. My people bleed behind bars. My language spoken in tongues, We keep it fair with the ones, I ran my laps with no feet. Yeah.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another installment of a No Label Convo.
Yes, sir.
Got my boy Nell here with me. Again, want to thank all the fans, well, supporters, of course, viewers, listeners, everybody that's been sharing, showing love since the jump.
Especially the international audience. Like, you know what I mean? We get some cool DMs, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, shout out to homie from Paris, man.
Right? That shit was hard. I got some homies in South Africa who's happening too. They fucking with us.
Yeah, definitely appreciate y'all. You can go ahead and introduce our guest now. Another special guest, of course.
Another amazing artist we sitting down here with today. I had the pleasure of just knowing him since I was a young youth. You know what I'm saying? I watched him evolve into this. Man, I'm gonna let him. It's better let him explain it than me. We sitting down with the one and the only Don't Watch TV.
Yo.
It's good, bro. How you feeling?
I appreciate y'all for having me.
No doubt.
And like being able to speak on the mic is dope, you know, especially when it's not just rapping, like being able to share my voice. Because I feel like it's something spiritual in our voice and in our heart, in our stories, you know what I mean? So it's important to document that. So I appreciate y'all for having me.
No doubt, man. Good Saturday morning, man. Get a good convo in. So what you been up to lately?
Working. You know, y'all know Westside Gunna got shit lit right now. Griselda got it lit. Benny the Butcher got it lit. Conway got it lit.
City on fire.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Armani Caesar got it lit. Shout out to all the Buffalo kids, you know what I mean? So I'm working on building this Don't Watch TV thing, and I'm in the middle of working on a collab with my brother Hidjiworld. Don't Watch Hidjiworld.
Shout out to all.
Yes sir. Shout out to the all.
I got a question real quick. So, when I first got introduced to you, we was known as True V, and then it evolved into Don't Watch TV. How did that come about? Like, what does that mean? And it's like, how did that come about?
Okay. So Don't Watch TV is really Don't Watch True V. You know, when I moved away to New York, I was really just trying to like put myself aside, I guess. I wanted people here to forget that I did music, you know, because I felt in my mind that I was going to reinvent myself and just prove to myself is what I was supposed to be doing. And for some reason, just like the outside, I don't know, energy of other people looking at me or what I'm doing, it just, I don't know. I just wanted to be away and like find myself, and it was like Don't Watch TV. New York was dope because I got to like really like blend in. Not blend in. It's weird where you can feel like you could get lost in the crowd. It's like there's so many people. There's so many people there that I just like. I wanted that. I wanted to just like immerse myself in something big, because that's how I felt. You know what I mean?
So many different types of people there too, to where you could be a different person and really be yourself, and people won't even, not to say they don't give a fuck, but they not really looking at you.
Yeah.
To where it's Buffalo, if you got a certain look or you different than a normal person, you kind of looked at different, looked at as weird or funny. Where in New York, you could literally just be yourself, and nobody,
That's right.
like I said, don't give a fuck.
I always felt like if I was to stay here and like, you know, maxing out my potential and just staying in this spot, I was like being a big fish in a small pond when you don't get out and spread your wings and share your energy with the world, because it's like it's a back and forth. In order for me to inspire the people that's here and that can't go any, or not even can't, but like are not able to go anywhere else yet. Like I gotta make them moves, you know what I mean, for myself. First of all, to feel like I'm that person, and then, you know, it resonate when they see that, and you know they can see the movement and see the possibilities. I wouldn't have been able to grow if I hadn't moved to New York and challenged myself and putting myself in uncomfortable situations in order to grow and learn about the shit that I'm looking at and that I want to be a part of. I'm like, hip hop was born in New York. I want to see that shit. You know what I mean?
But, and when you spoke about like leaving to do that, like I've noticed that just from my experiences, because I lived in Cleveland for a year, and when I came back, I'm just like, oh, and I knew so many of my friends who never left Buffalo. So it's like being able to step out and go into a different location is extremely important, just as a person and really important as an artist, because you have to be able to expand your vision, rebrand.
Straight up, traveling is so essential. You know what I mean? Like I'm happy I did that with basketball. Mm-hmm. You know,
we used to play for it.
I played AAU with GC.
Come on,
GC baller. and it's
GC
funny.
was elite back in the day.
Without a doubt, everybody was like, shout out to GC.
You know, shout out to GC baller. Shout out to Jeff. You know what I mean? And like that experience in itself was another example of like getting outside of your comfort zone. You know, like, and that's what they always drilled in us. Like, yeah, y'all might be nice here, but like, let's see how you play in Cleveland, or how you play in New York, or how you play somewhere else. It's like, it's like, don't settle for just being a dope nigga on your block or in your fucking 3-mile radius. It's like, get out in the world, see who you really is.
Yeah, and that's saying something too. Because GC, them boys, they had a couple boys go to the league. Johnny Flynn, Lazard, Paul Harris. Like,
I watched a lot of my friends. I watched Mike Williams in football. You know what I mean? Steve Means. He played basketball too for GC.
You know what I
mean? So I'm like, a lot of the niggas that was like my comrades, a lot of my brothers like made it to the top level of professional, whatever they was doing. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of other people from Buffalo in different fields and different industry that's like doing it at the highest level. You know what I mean? Like the drummer girl, a couple producers. And it's just like, I'm like, shit, I'm around all this shit. You know what I mean? Like, and I never felt I was anything less. I just didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. And that was my thing with the music. Once I found that, I'm like, damn, I didn't think that I was gonna be doing this. This is pretty fire because I love music, and now I'm seeing it completely different. Like when I was a viewer of music, I'm like looking at all the different stories and how much music it is to listen to. Now being a creator of it as well, I'm like, wow, so much to learn about my own story and how to tell it. And it's still so much more music to listen to in order to like expand on my own self-expression. And
you're really a student of it.
Exactly.
With going to PA, how did that influence your artistic creativity? Like, how did that develop in you? Because what were you an art major there, or?
I was a visual arts major.
Okay, where? And because I was a music major when we was there, so it's just like, and I seen people move from art to music, in like the different majors, and it's like so many creative people came out of PA. Like Armani Caesar, right?
She was an art major too, visual arts.
Yeah, she like we went to school together. Like I was in grade school, they was in high school, so it was just like we got to play. I was playing on JV my 8th grade year. That's when me and him really started bonding and type stuff. Like we got cool, and it's just like to see just all the creative people in Buffalo really create and like you said, reaching the highest heights in their profession. That shit is like, it's like, yo, I can do this. Like, I grew up next to this person. Like, I can do that too. I can, like, West taking it to heights music we hadn't seen in Buffalo. Shoot, we was next to them, so we got to take it that much further. You know what I'm saying? So,
and then especially the people that take it to heights in industries that they weren't originally known for. That's something we talked about before the pod. Like him stepping outside of music, you moving. He's known for music to where he wanted to more so be known for then your art when you move to New York and get into different things, or playing basketball for GC, you known as a hooper, and then you want to get into music, people more so know you for basketball. it's kind of just a snowball effect with that.
Facts.
You know, same thing.
Yeah, finding that identity.
Yeah, and I think the dope thing is the identity is in the journey. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how you build character
That's
and
powerful.
find out who you are. So I'm like, even hearing y'all say like all of this stuff, it been there the whole time. It's just like walking it. You know what I mean? Like it's written. You just gotta walk the steps. You know what I mean? And believe in it. And that's where it's like I got it written up there. The music serves as a utility for our cultural paradigm. You know what I mean? Because it's how we make things change. Listening to how other people's stories inspire something. Because when I moved to New York, I didn't know what I was going to do. You know, I
And
knew.
what age did you move? Because we keep bringing.
I was like, this was 3 years ago now, so I'm 31. I was probably 28, 27.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And 27 was a year I'm just like thinking like, it was like the 2 and the question mark was the 7. What am I about to do? 'Cause I know this is all I'm thinking about in my life. I was
That's
learning
right.
so much about hip hop and the origins and looking at myself as a student and a teacher of the culture to those, you know, that's with me. So I know moving here, I was also thinking about the music, but I knew I was like on a journey of learning, and so I couldn't rush anything, you know, and that's why I really was like, I don't want to go there and be like another rapper, another dude that's trying. 'Cause everybody in New York trying to be something, you know what I mean? It's the ones that know who they is that like pierce through all of that shit, because you just got to be there for it forever, you know what I mean? And not just trying to get it right now, or like, yeah, I came here to get this, I'm trying to hurry up and get this real quick so I could just go back and tell them that I got this and da-da-da-da. It's like, no, you know what I mean? Exactly. This is forever, you know what I mean? Like, even when I come back home, like, I get different energy from people, and that's why, you know, I understand, like, whatever they call it, like the diva, or why people stay to themselves. I understand why my grandfather stayed to himself, just in his life, you know what I mean? Being the son of 13 kids, a nigga that moved and fucking worked in the factory and got his bread up, and just seeing how money changed things around you. It's like, cause I ain't even got no money. It's just like the moves is really what the money is. Cause that's my philosophy. Like, art is the idea, and the thought, and the money is the people. You know what I mean? So if you could get people to gather around your ideas, you know, the
versus,
you know what I mean? The other people, or whatever the case, they believe that it's money there, cause it is. We rich inside. It's just, you know, difficult dealing with that changing the eyes of your family and people that you love, because it's like you see
it's foreign,
you know, the eyes is the window to the spirit and shit, so you can see people's heart when you look into their eyes and watch that shit change because of something it's just like when you a kid, like somebody be looking at you, they might not like you until you pull out some candy, and then they're like, oh God. Or it's like somebody love you, and then when they see you with something that they don't got, they instantly just like, you know, the envy or whatever, and be like, that's something that, like, you know, I've learned to just like put it all on the floor, and in my life, I know that I'm gonna have everything, so I gotta be patient and accepting it, you know what I mean? And then also be careful with who I allow in my home, as far as like in my heart, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people gonna come through, kick it, as far as being around. That's the world, you know what I mean? But you can't allow all of that shit into your cipher, you know what I mean? You can't be kicking it with everybody, can't be building with everybody. And so it's funny, the collab that we doing with the K-Subi brand is the concept for his friends and family. Because I want to just take it back to the roots, or just the elements, you know what I mean, and shit, while I'm starting this Don't Watch TV in front of the world. Because this is going to be my introduction with Haji, you know, on a high level brand and designing. And just like, before I introduce the TV boy character, I want to like prove my concept can work, as far as, you know, just making people feel good with making something.
Fact,
You know
I know when I saw TV Boy, that shit had me. I'm drawing that shit everywhere. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, this is super dope.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
And TV Boy is with the TV head with like the astronaut. It kind of looks like to me.
Yeah, everybody call him an astronaut. He look. I mean, you know what? He a psychonaut. Because it is a combination of, you know, it's a combination of things. Like the helmet is is what an astronaut would use to protect themselves in outer space. However, I'm looking at like, you know, any space as outer space of my mind and my body, and having to protect that. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes our visual can, you know, it move people in a way. I've always known that I was, you know, not that I always felt it or believed that I was like good looking or beautiful, but from getting over the outside, I know myself in the inside. I know I'm a beautiful person. I know I'm a good person, and that show on the outside. And so I have to protect my feeling of that beauty and not let it be like fucked up by anybody else's. Because everybody don't gotta love this right here. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I love this. And so the TV is my way of protecting myself, but it's also a symbol of like my mind and how it works. Because like I watch so many fucking movies, and shows and cartoons and fucking miscellaneous shit. And like, I just channel through all of it, and I'm able to you know, work with a lot of different people. That's the biggest thing that performing arts, the biggest tool that it gave me.
Because we had the TV show. We had like a TV network. Like morning announcements would be the AV kids. They would be on the TV giving the announcements. Like had the little wheels, the big back TV straps on the little car.
We had our own.
We had a
TV show.
Like basketball highlights from the game. Like all of that, we had that in going in school. Like that's fire. Like every school should have that.
And it showed us how to really work with other people, because the world, everything is sex. You know what I mean? Everything is sex. I'm gonna just say that.
Creative energy.
And that's creative energy. You know what I mean? So being able to work with other people in a fluid motion and understanding like, oh, okay, that's the art team. Like they about to set the look and the aesthetic and the atmosphere, and then the music gonna come in here and give us the vibe, and then the theater majors is gonna come in and liven up the spot with character. You know what I'm saying? The dance majors is gonna be wallflowers and dancing. It's like all of those elements created such a vibe every day you came in, because you couldn't help but hear something or see something or feel something. Even when the teachers in the system at hand was trying to like trying to stop that, or like trying to put a hold they hand on it. Like, no, you can't do all of this. Niggas was still wilding and doing what they wanted to do.
You can't stop that.
Help but do that. You know what I mean? I think that's the important thing, and like how when it serves as a tool, it also reminds us how to like, you know, how to not give a fuck when the time is right. You know, how to rebel and remember to revolt against anything that's trying to contain your spirit. Because it's like, no, you're not meant for that. You're not meant to be fucking like, you know, being told what to do in essence of your happiness. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different when you know what you want to do, and working a job is just like knowing your role and your responsibility in essence of your own learning and being in control of your own happiness to sustain that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to learn. I went to college after, like, when I was like 22, 23 maybe. Like, just because I was like, damn, I want to learn. I want to learn how to be better at this shit. Like, it's mad shit that I'm, like, missing out on. And it's, like, basic shit that, like, I'm seeing my brother just, like, moving in life and understanding things because he went through that process. My brother went straight to high school, straight from high school to college. And it's not that, you know, college or different institutions for everybody. It's just, like, understanding the different institutes and how to move. Cause like,
I think everybody should take a break and realize after high school, realize what you want. That's why that's something that Nelson did that I wish I would have did. I mean, I'm finding myself now and all that, but I went straight from high school, college, played basketball, all that. But Nelson took some years off, and then he got back in, and then he knew what he wanted to do. You did the internship in Africa with music because he knew that's what he wanted to do because he took that time off. Yeah. So I feel like that's something that everybody should really do, because at 17, you don't really know what you want to do.
No.
You're going to college, they're taking all this money for you. You decided on a major that you don't really know what you want to do because you haven't explored the world or really found yourself yet.
At 25, a lot of people graduate and they have a degree and it's like, they work that job. They hate that shit. They're like, what the hell do I do now? I follow the rules, quote unquote, but like what you tapped on, you was like doing what makes you happy, and that will guide you into like, you shouldn't feel like you're in a box. And when I brought you to Fredonia and we did you did the art workshop. Everybody loved it. The room was packed. We finding chairs, everything, and I wanted to show them that mindset. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't. In today's world, we see how constrictive society is on just creativity and freedom. And just like, just let alone it's a pandemic outside. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
It's something that's hard to understand. People don't like what they can't understand.
Yeah,
They're
but
afraid of what they can't understand.
exactly. But it's important that we do what we feel is right and what feels good to us, because he didn't know when he's going to New York City. He said, I didn't know exactly what was going on. He could have feared it and been stuck in the city, been stuck in the same spot. He said something real important. He said, I got used to uncomfortable situations because they made me grow.
And that growth is inevitable, and not even to cut you off, because that's such the beauty of like everything that y'all saying, like overcoming fear, and that's where the stories are tools for us, and being able to see those examples of people overcoming fear every day, like to show everyday struggles. You just hearing about like how even motherfuckers in the industry that got it, they going through shit. Everybody going through shit, so. It keeps us grounded and keeps you going, you know, keeps you grounded and pounded on the, like, your purpose, really. Because I think that's one of the most important, not even most important, but it's just another factor into it. Like, when you're doing what you believe you're supposed to be doing every day, there's no end to that, you know what I mean? Because life is a series of cycles. And in this life right here, you got to get up every day. The sun gonna rise every motherfucking day. And that's pain. For some people, you know what I mean? Some people that's like, their bodies is literally in physical pain every day, and they gotta get through the 24, just fucking like, I gotta go through this pain for this 24, you know what I mean? And then I still gotta deal with the fucking, the sun coming up again, you know what I mean? Like, going to sleep is like a blessing, you know what I'm saying, for some people. And like, I don't take none of that shit for granted at all, you know what I mean? It moved me in this shit that I'm doing, cause like, I don't got nothing else, you know what I mean?
Where you living it, you in it. You said something dope too. It's like you talked about your, almost like, I'm paraphrasing, but it's like your network is kind of like your net worth.
Yep.
And like that's where you get your true value. And I learned that when I went to Detroit in August. We went to a Detroit psychedelic conference, all black psychedelic conference.
Fine.
And we was in there. I was just chilling, meeting people, shaking hands, and I met this one dude. And he was like, yo, can you help me set up this background? I'm like, bet, I got you. I helped him set up the background. We started chopping it up. Yo, where you from? I'm like, from Buffalo. Oh, word? Yo, Bobby Kenny, he from Buffalo. I'm like, oh, word, I'd love to meet him. So this dude is the last living Grand Master of the, like, Tamarind arts. It's like a African martial arts system. He's the last living Grand Master, right? Living in Detroit from Buffalo, right? So I meet him. We chopping it up, we laughing, talking about the city, and he was like, you know, what high school you go to? I'm like, Hutch Tech. Word, I went to Hutch Tech too. This dude graduated from the same high school as me, what, 30, 40 years ago. And he was just like, we talking for like 2-3 hours. And he was like, you know what, bro? He's like, you ever want to learn? I'll give you lessons for free. If you need somewhere to sleep, you could come stay here. Like, from the last living grandmaster of a ancient, like, you know what I mean? And it's just like, it's mind blowing because you can't pay for that. You can't buy that. And it's really like, he was telling me stories about his jobs, and he would make people millions just off his network of like, yo, I know this building contractor, boom, go here, da 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 da. And people in the city calling him because he's the only one that can make it happen. Because it's like they got the $1 million people can't do it because you don't have that network. You don't have the network.
It's so funny, like, in hearing you say it, it's like a net. When you think about a net, it's like the cross. I'm about to draw something real quick. I'm happy y'all in here. This is like my little studio space. I have to draw stuff. Because this is exactly how it is. Like a net. You know, it's like different crosses on it. And so like people are this is us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so everybody needs these in order to be over here, and so that this is still in alignment with this. And I feel like And because we all are one in actuality. You know what I mean? Our spirit is all one spirit body.
The universal subconscious mind.
So when you find situations, things like that, that's like you seeing a reflection of yourself, and you was meant to find that connection in order to keep it going. And like that's really like you find your worth, because it's like self-worth and self-awareness is one with social awareness. You know what I mean? And it shows the people around you your worth, because you know what I mean, knowing your worth is how you show your worth. And that's the same thing with the network and the net worth. The people that you know, they're like, oh shit, that person knows you? Like, you know, and when we look at the social media, like, I don't have to do the extra stuff as far as like, oh, da-da-da-da, or like even trying to like, you know, get a blue check or nothing like that, because the people that I've met in real life and established relationships with and that follow what I'm doing on social media, that's what show. And I know that them relationships is like built on like, you know, real situations and not just like social situations.
Yeah, and that come from you growing up without social media when it was lit, or really growing up without the internet for like half of your life. So whereas a lot of these kids, they grew up, that's all they know. We were fortunate enough to grow up without it, really be outside doing stuff, really having to talk to people, pull up to your friend's house on bikes. That's how you know you can't really call them.
You know everybody, all the bikes is on the front lawn.
You can't hit them up on Twitter.
I just felt that in my phone.
They think this is the connection. It's like, nah, it's right here.
That's why I really felt blessed to grow up like right in the middle of
transition.
Because you get both sides. You could really see things for what could work.
So when you went to New York City, how did you tap in with Og, and how did you connect with Rocky and all of them?
Well, I met up with Haji outside, like hit him on Instagram, because he was posting like edit parties. You know what I mean? And even when I was here, I seen that, and I'm like, yo, I gotta be around for that, because I got ideas. I want to see how this work. And so I linked them in the LES, and I didn't know what to expect. I really didn't have no expectations at all. That was the biggest thing in my mind. Just keeping no expectations, not ask for nothing, not wanting nothing. Excuse me. But just knowing I got so much to offer and wanting to help. It's like, and it's a lot to balance, because I'm like, I know I still got my ideas and shit that I want to do for myself, and that was the whole thing that I was carrying with me, like even having Don't Watch, like how that came, it's just like, no nigga, it's not about you. Yeah, it's not about you. And I also didn't want people looking at me in that way, like, oh, this another rapper. So like, I'm like, don't watch True EV. Watch the art of what I'm doing. Watch the message. You know, watch the moves.
Watch the journey.
You know what I mean? Yeah, and in that way, I don't have to tell this fucking long ass story about why I'm making music, or why I'm a rapper, or why I'm the one in making music or whatever. Like, it's just like, it is what it is, man.
That's dope. Is Haji from Buffalo too?
Yep. He born in New York, moved to Buffalo, and then moved to Virginia. So he got the Bronx in him, got Buffalo.
That's right. West
Side of Buffalo, you know what I mean? And he got Virginia in him.
Okay, word. So, I know you was in New York. I remember I was just following you on your posts and stuff like that. And I remember who told me? I think it was my brother. You had got low on funds or whatever, and you was about to come home, and I'm like, I know I was at home, I'm like, damn, I do not want him to come back here. He out there doing it crazy. Yeah. And then like a week, I want to say less than a week later, you ended up doing a mural. You like, was it for Dave? He said, for the Dave Navarro?
Oh yeah, Dave Navarro, yeah. Chili Pepper. Well, we did a piece for him. He came through, did a piece. It's been so many moments on the journey where it's been like dark, and I don't know what's the outcome gonna be, or that my own inner self-doubt and fear kick in. I'm like, oh shit, I don't know what's about to happen. I don't know, what am I supposed to do? We gotta be out of this hotel in a day, and I got 8 bags with me. Where am I about to be at? And life just move you forward. It's like if you on a cliff or something, and it's like a rock just pushing you, and you're just like, but it's like a cliff right there. It's just like, all right, nigga, figure it out at the bottom. Shit. Then you end up there. You're like, wait a minute, but I'm alive.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit. So let's do this again. Like, okay. But I mean, the funny part about it is, shit never end up being anything like you expected it to be when you keep just keeping positive thoughts and forward motion. You know what I'm saying? Allowing yourself to go through the storms and like, oh my God, this bad shit is there. Like, let me just keep it moving and not staying in them places. It's the outcome that I got today. Like this crib right here is a product of fucking a lot of scary nights fucking in Brooklyn, not knowing what shit gonna be. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stressful nights, like believing in myself.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Key.
So when did you develop that mindset though? Like at what?
Fear?
Yeah, at what point? Like what was the situation where you realized like, all right, all I really need to do is stay on, have faith in myself, faith most importantly, and just really keep focusing on my craft, and whatever situation I'm in is gonna eventually turn out good, and I'm gonna get out of it.
Well, I can really remember a lot of times in my life, like just believing hard and like asking for something, you know what I mean, from myself or the universe, like a lot. Like even as a kid, you know what I mean. When I was playing basketball, I remember I just wanted to jump shot so bad. I remember when the handle was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And
I one mixtape.
Yeah. And I just used to work at that shit so hard. But I remember in high school like praying to the to the basketball gods, which is like, you know, thinking
R.I.P. Kobe.
You feel me? Rest in peace to mom. Praying to myself like, yo, I want a jump shot. Like, I want a jump shot so bad. And it's funny how we look at it in our mind, we like, yeah, I'm asking for this thing. But I also remember like working hard as fuck. Like really
because it's a two-part thing. You can't just be wishing for something while you're sitting on your ass.
You gotta
also
believe
put
in
in the
it.
work.
Your heart, you know what I mean? And that's the thing about the heart and the connection with symbolism in life. It's like the heart is your beat, you know what I mean? It's your rhythm and what you love. Beating that shit, just doing it every day. Doing that shit every day and pounding it, staying consistent. If your heart not beating, you can't live, you know what I'm saying? So doing what you love, you gotta treat that shit like that. Treat that shit like your heartbeat. Do that shit like, nigga, so you can fucking live, you know what I mean? And that shit, it resonate, you know what I mean? It build a life of its own from that muscle memory and I just remember that shit. I'm like, yo, I'm about to get a jump shot. And when the nigga was known for shooting, when other people were saying like, yo, that nigga can shoot, like that nigga can jump, I was like, oh shit, that's all I wanted, young niggas is full.
Yo, because basketball, people like, I was talking about this in one of our interviews, but basketball culture in Buffalo is a thing. Like, people who like active right now, you see with clothing brands, musicians, artists, was all hooping at one point. It was dead nice. Like
small town shit, it's like, if you look at a western town, Buffalo like this, it's like a combination of this in my mind. It's an imaginary world. Like an old western ass town that just got like these retro super future black dudes, black people that pulled up. And then like the two of those come together and be like, oh shit, we can learn from this and that can learn from that. And that's what the town feel like, cause it ain't nothing to do here but play basketball, go to the summer league games. And those people, in my mind, was like the real live celebrities. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas that was dealing drugs, that had the cars at the Juneteenth, or like, you know, also the people, the dudes that's like doing the right thing, got jobs and they just like got money, but they around in some type of way being seen and showing you this shit. It's like showing the flow of energy. And the sports culture in general. Rest in peace to the mama for real, because he said some shit that was really dope as far as like how basketball is like a metaphor for life. Because it really is. That shit, it taught me so much as far as just how to be, you know what I mean? And then also how to see all the different characters. And that shit is definitely amazing.
From the teamwork aspect and all that.
Yeah, facts.
I learned a lot of life lessons through basketball.
Yeah, as a kid, I remember going to them when the basketball games would be crazy. Like when Ace was hooping, when
Come on.
Shoot 'Em Up Joe Stinson.
Joe Stinson.
Yeah, bro. I remember watching as a kid. I'm like, I want to be like him. Like,
Come on, bro. Stink was like the most feared young basketball player that this city ever known. You know what I mean? Like, I remember kids was literally scared to check him. Grown-ups, grown and niggas, adults was scared to check this dude. You know what I mean? Because he was so nice. And that shit just inspire you. You know what I mean? It's because I'm like, damn, what am I about to do? Like, I gotta be scared. So then you end up playing with these niggas, but then seeing people excel and be good and be known for being good, it's like, yo, I want that too.
Right.
Like, at a point in my life, I just wanted to be known for basketball. I wanted to be like a basketball star in my town and like gain respect from that. And even if I didn't make it to the NBA, I'm like, I'm at least not gonna be the doo-doo nigga at the summer league. You know what I'm saying? Niggas gonna at least pick me. I'm gonna be somebody. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be somebody. And it's so simple. It's so funny how that's so simple, but that goes so far because everybody should feel that feeling of like, I'm somebody.
Yeah.
I'm somebody. You know what I mean? And it's that.
You got to believe that shit before anybody else.
Exactly.
Man. Well,
And you can see it to believe it. You know, there's a such thing as learning the attitude. The same way Kobe like watched Jordan and I didn't understand how he was mimicking this man's attitude, but really taking it in for himself and being his best self. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a real thing, and that's what we offer to each other. And I believe when it comes to like the music industry and all the other things, all the outside forces that we fighting against, you know, that our bodies and our minds is fighting against, whether it's politics, you know, all of that shit is like, we really have to come together and understand that we have to understand one another in order to communicate, and that like the music is really giving us a space to do that, you know, to do that in a spiritual form, because the music, the hip hop shit is a phenomenon, you know what I mean? It's nothing that can explain how, you know, music can get people to stop and be still and listen to one another and understand one another in so many different ways, and how just that spark can lead to people being together and being happier together. And like when someone sees a person overcoming their struggles, they can have strength in overcoming their own struggles. And when one person stands up, that's how, you know, and the music do it. It get people to stand up together and realize like, yo, we really is together in this shit. Like I need you. We need each other.
Facts. And one person that I used to like idolize, who would really had just the vision of seeing that and how it connects everybody, was ASAP Yams. Yam, his birthday was yesterday. You know what I mean? Rest in peace.
Happy Yam, long live.
But I used to watch his interviews, and just whenever he would talk, and he was so forward thinking on just like how what we see today is how everybody like can working together, artist wise, and just like I think of Buffalo, I think of like really seeing things happen before they happen. Because like 10 years ago, people wasn't thinking Buffalo was gonna be this known for music and rap and art, and it's like really carrying, like really embodying that and just having that vision and faith, and just, bro, it's just super dope. And one thing you talked about fear, and it was a good quote from Jimmy Iovine. He talked about fear and how it's a useful tool, but you have to know how to use it. Instead of having it be in front of you, stopping you from moving your feet, you need to just learn to take that fear and place it behind you. So that's what's pushing you to continue going with in those tough times.
It's like smoke. Maybe like you don't want smoke. You gotta be fire in order to create smoke. And when you're moving, the smoke is behind you. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what that shit. That's what I seen when you just said that to me. Like, yep, that shit is the smoke, because it keep you going. Like all of the fears that I've overcome, it just remind you like, yo, it's nothing to fear but yourself, and it's only your mind that you have to overcome. It's you that you have to overcome every time. Like this is nothing to worry about. This is nothing to worry. I deal with it with these girls. I'm like, I know this girl not going nowhere. Let me just chill.
So from being in New York City, just getting those journeys and just gaining all that experience with all those artists there, when did you connect with Westside Gunn, and when did that collab start happening?
I met with Wes in like 2013, I think. I remember hearing the Hitler the first Hitler demo or mixtape at King City, and I didn't even know who he was. I never seen him before in my life, and it just inspired the fuck out of me because it was so well done. You know what I mean? It was almost hard to believe that he was from Buffalo. I'm like,
Yeah.
is this real? Like, is somebody trying to prank us or something?
Right, yeah.
Was he still in the city at the time, or was this when he moved to Atlanta?
He was already in Atlanta for as long as I've known. You know what I mean? He would just check in, and he would be like, be here. And it's funny because I remember a time when we actually linked up. He picked me up, and he was in the town. You know what I mean? The man just was been like a ghost or a spirit almost. You know what I mean? And not to say that, but like a force. You know what I mean?
That's
And
fire.
it's just been dope because I just been learning from it. Like silent lessons from being with him. You know what I mean? Trusting my own mind and knowing that like, yo, I believe in this man like I believe in myself. And it's like the power of that somehow has just put us in alignment with each other. You know what I mean? Because as long as I've known, I mean, not even as long as I've known, as long as I've known him, we ain't always been like working like this. It's more so just been in my mind, like, yo, I know what he doing. Like, I see it. I can see it. I see what he doing. I understand it so well. Like, and then I'm like, in my mind, I'm just like pushing him. You know, like,
Yeah, keep going.
You know what I mean?
That's
And
dope.
that's all we need from each other. At the end of the day, it's like, who gonna push you with their mind and not just with their words in front of other people? Like, oh yeah, man, you fired. Most niggas just be doing that just to say it around other people. They don't really believe in their own words. You know what I mean? I know that, and I believe that I have a lot of like, you know, silent followers, and not even followers, but supporters. Like people that are just like humble and like put their energy into me with their mind and their heart and their spirit in the right way. And they don't necessarily have to say it to me. Even if they haven't said it to me, I be feeling that shit, the presence of it. So that's why I be doing my best to, I know the importance of stuff like this, like speaking, so that I'm speaking my heart to those people and to people like that haven't heard my heart. Because I know there's some people that see me and they see the outside shit, they see the AUG shit, they see the Griselda shit or whatever, and they don't understand like the balance of like the person, the people, you know what I mean? And that's where I'm at with it, you know what I mean? Like even within the AUG, like I know you know the AUG DVD and shit. That was Haji's opportunity at showing like people, the people, like showing Rakim, not ASAP Rocky. You know what I'm saying? Showing, you know, the grounded nature of like everything that we doing and the process of it. And I feel like that's inspired so many.
Yeah, that,
you know,
all DVDs alone was a big thing that inspired me just doing videography and video editing too. Like something that I'm trying to do after that me and Marl discussed. Like all DVD is a big part of that.
Yeah, bro. And we building the next chapter of that. We are the next chapter of that. The Buffalo Kids, that space that Hidjiworld built, you know what I mean? Because now it's just all about expansion. It's bigger than, you know, the AUG DVD is amazing because it is what it is. It's bigger than that. It's bigger than just that. You know, we can get into politics because politics is in everything. It's just about understanding the science, breaking down the science of life on different levels, and that's what we've been doing in the art. And you know, the Don't Watch Hidjiworld and the Don't Watch TV shit is really gonna be, you know, that's the future, like for the creatives too, you know, because I feel like the world is creative. So now that we out here, I'm like, okay, this shit is forever. We're my team, you know what I mean?
Everybody's creative. You just gotta find your niche. You find your purpose.
And that's one thing that I'm glad we got to do with this platform. Is like we get to interview artists, and it's artists talking about life. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they have experiences just like every other person, and it's just hearing it from an artist, a musician, or a painter, or an activist type.
Especially in Buffalo, because it's somebody that you've seen and they're attainable.
Yeah, and it's something that can kind of go hidden about Buffalo. People didn't know. Like people here think of Buffalo now, they think of Griselda, they think of hard, grimy raps. But it's like there's another side there. That art side shows up in their stuff too. But we have some of the most popular like painters that came from Buffalo. You know what I'm saying? People got in Albright Knox and
Architects.
Yeah, architects. I'm saying like Buffalo is like a crazy art city. Like, there's a reason why people keep bringing it up. There's a reason why we have our name out here. It's just now it's getting introduced to like the hip hop scene and now the world. You know what I'm saying? So, shit. Like, when did you? I'm trying to think with the murals aspect, because most of us start off in with a small little notebook, and then it's like taking it to a big canvas. That's something. Like, when did you like take it to that big medium, and like when did you like sell your first joint?
A lot. I started out outside. Well, I mean, to be honest, I started painting and practicing at home. You know what I mean? When I had the spot on Trinity, I was painting on the back of the jackets and just looking at stuff and painting stuff, you know, basic shit. Like what you see a lot of people doing today with their clothing lines and just like looking at stuff and just painting what they see on it, which is nothing wrong with that.
And were you already done hooping at this time, or were you doing it simultaneously?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always gonna hoop. I've done like hooping competitively, or like,
That's what I meant.
you know, training and shit. This was like a few years ago, like before I left New York, maybe before I left Buffalo, I was living in a spot on Trinity on the west side by myself, and I got a call to Republic Records in 2016, and it was for the Fuck 50 track. Went out there. That shit was an experience, first time ever in LA, and it was just like at the top of shit. You know what I mean? They put you all the way at the top, and you know what I mean? I wasn't there signing no papers. I learned a lot, and I took my eyes right back down to the bottom. And when I was living on Trinity and went through that experience of like seeing all of that stuff and then coming back home, it really kind of like scared me a little bit because I didn't know what I was supposed to do next. And that's when I started painting. I just started like getting back to myself and looking at my own story and just doing something, you know what I mean? I feel like painting was something I was looking at and I wanted to do for so long because I was like watching other people painting, and I'm like, damn, I could do that. Like, it's only but so long you could look at something that you could do and talk shit about it before you like, you just gotta do it, you know what I mean? And I feel like I felt that inside of myself. I was looking at stuff people was doing, and I'm just like, that ain't nothing, like, I could do that. And I'm just like, well, like, maybe I should do that. And then I realized from doing it, I'm like, oh, this is not that, it's not that easy to just do what I see being done. Because it's like, what I see is authentic. What I'm seeing is being done authentic, and it's like, it's a certain way to it. Like, how did this person know to choose that? How did they, you know, I'm like, oh shit, this is
That's their own original art, their own original style.
Exactly, and I'm like, oh, that's it. So it's like, you know, you gotta be willing to feel like a fool and be willing to be wrong and shit. And that was the space that I was in there, just like with myself, by myself, you know what I mean? And that's when I started painting, you know, like, I gotta paint to balance out like all the other shit I don't know.
When you start to find like your style and your, because that's something we talked about with Skis too, because he does the BNBLYC, his brother's rap, and then he eventually just said that he, like the same thing you were just talking about, like he would see other people, he would try and mimic them, but it's like, I can't do it like them because this is their specific work, this is how they do it. I gotta find my own way. So when you find your own style and just
And see, with the art, it was like, it was never really a case of mimicking nothing because it was already stuff that I had done. So I'm just like, I didn't see the point in it. You know what I mean? I didn't know my purpose with it. I'm like, okay, I can do that. I've done that. I do that well. I think the realist shit, like the realistic, like a Mona Lisa type shit, I really look up to like Michelangelo type drawing. Like I've always drawn super realistic. So seeing a painting like that, I'm like, damn, I like that style, but I didn't know if that like fit me as a person, because it's just like, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of like posture, fucking time, and I'm like, I get it. I'm like, I get it. I could take a picture, you know what I'm saying? Like that's just like me as a person, you know what I mean? Even though I love that shit. So I think when I left here, and then like the psychedelics got a place in it too, because that also just like broke my mind. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I'm like, oh my God, like I was making a mess. I was just like making a mess. But I know when I moved to New York, I was like just taking in so much stuff that it kind of like washed away all of the things that I like. It cleared out my aspiration. Like I'm like, oh yeah, that's cool. But like, that's not me. Like, that's cool, you know. And I'm just like, I don't know. Then I just started like it's that same process inside myself where I'm like, all right, I just gotta do something. And I just started doodling, you know, and it started with the markers, with the paint markers, and I was like, my spirit or like my inside programming was doing the super realistic shit, but just with a different tool, so that it wasn't as like the first big piece that I did was the Chris Benoit joint for Wes, and that was a commission. Cause when I moved out there, I told him I was moving out there. I contacted him like, yo, I'm about to move to New York. I'm about to make this move, da 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 da. And I just had it in my mind like, yo, I'm gonna do a piece for him and I'm gonna sell it to him. Period. And that's how I'm gonna get a little, you know what I mean? I want people to see that. That's how that'll give me a little air. You know what I mean?
Them Chris Benoit, the hoodie joint, the Prince is fire.
Yeah, that shit. And that was just a good vibe.
Those are joints with the third eye, right?
Yeah. I did the painting that was on the record cover, and that sold, you know what I'm saying? And we did a series of pieces for him, like 7 pieces, me and Haji, you know what I mean? Just got high, fucking did some pieces. When I say got high, I mean on psychedelics, and sometimes amphetamine. But you know, yeah, man, and that's what I think from being on the sketchbook and seeing different stuff and not knowing, and then finding your style as you go. I don't know. That's really all it is. Is your style finds you as you go and doing stuff. Because even this camo shit, I feel like this camo thing is a more controlled way of me being able to do what I want to do in my own way. You know what I'm saying? Like I like portraits. I like realism. I see why surrealism is a thing, because it's like people that like realism. That's another one of my friends. It's like people that like realism, but they want to just put their own mind on it. They want to put their own mind bend on it, and I love that. One of my favorite artists is Frida Kahlo. It's partly because like not because just that. I know she one of the main people that they showed us a lot. And I was just always curious of why she painted herself in just all these different ways. And then I realized like every painting is really a self-portrait. Every time I do a piece, it's like it's me working on some shit in myself, like working on my own imperfections, working on my own mistakes, and working through that. It's like like this joint. I don't want to do a perfect Bugs Bunny. You know what I'm saying? I want people to see my Bugs Bunny and get it. You know what I mean? And be like, oh, yo, that's Bugs. Like, word, thank you. Because it's not as good as I would like it to be. You know what I'm saying? But, like, I accept it. I accept myself. You know what I mean? And it's simple, bro. And then that creates the space, I think, to do more work. Because you see things. Like, for me, and I'm just speaking for myself, like, I've done a lot of stuff that I'm like, I could do better than that. And then it's like, I got to do something else to do something more fire. One of my firest pieces, I sold to Rocky. You know what I'm saying? And for the bro price, it's like one of my fires, because I was vibing. I was on the vibe. I'm like, damn, I really fuck with this joint. And it's like, you know, it also reminds me of my purpose too, because my purpose is to do fire shit and give it to people. It's not to like do it and just be like, yeah, I did this fire shit. Look at this day, man. I got this fire shit. It's like, it's somebody else.
Yeah, you want other people to enjoy it and get inspired by it.
Exactly. And feel that feeling. And to make other people that make other people feel dope, feel that is like, that's dope.
It's kind of like I'm your favorite rapper's favorite rapper.
Yeah. I noticed that. I seen that with your shoes, how y'all did the camo with the ones.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere. Being broke in LA, nigga, just my friend was working on a video and he needed some sneakers for an artist. Matter of fact, he was working on a treatment and showed me the treatment. I'm like, oh well, boom. He wanted some custom kicks for the dude, and I'm like, boom, I'm gonna just do what I want to do on them, because I don't be liking people to be like, oh yeah, I want custom, I want you to do SpongeBob, whatever. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just do my bubbles, you know what I'm saying? And it made sense because he had bubbles in the video, like the little bubble thing, and that shit just went off. I did the one pair. Then my man was like, yo, I'll pay you to do my joints. did his pair, and then all the people that they was around.
Whose video was it in first? You said
Lil Key.
Lil Key. Okay. Because I
What
remember.
video was it?
I don't even know the name of the song. It was a video with some colorful bubbles. Yeah.
That's hard. Because I remember I seen Gunna had them. Gunna was wearing them, and he had the table and the backdrop. I was like,
Yeah. I was trapping. I was trapping for a minute. I just started like making them for people, and it's just like the climate of it. You just see how it go. Like, okay, you make stuff for people that you know that's fire and that's gonna see it and they gonna fuck with it, and then when other people see them vibing with the thing, it just that's investing in the shit. It's like, I gave them joints, and now 10 people gonna come from that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
back.
So I did them joints for Gunna. We did the video for Gunna. I forgot what video that was. 200 for lunch. We did. He directed the 200 for lunch video, and I got to do the back. I designed the background shit at Gunna crib. Had the sneakers in there, so
Yeah, that was crazy.
yeah, and that was love. That was love.
Facts. You've been in your directing bag lately. You did that joint, and you did the Armani Caesar joint.
Benny.
Yeah, man. And it's funny because like I've been learning all the different titles and shit. People call it directing. I just been working with my friends because the shit do itself when you just be like play your part.
Right.
But yeah, Wes hit me up. He needed a video for Armani quick. And you know, it's like bro shit. We a team, you know. And this for all the young creatives. That everything ain't gonna be top dollar in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? You gotta do a lot of shit for free. I done did a lot of work for free, understanding that nothing is free. Whenever I put my energy into something for somebody, even if they're not paying for it, the work that I put into it is gonna go as far as as far as the energy that I put into it. So I'm like, all right, $1,000. I'm about to shoot this video, make it like 100,000. You know what I mean? And then it's just like it do itself. Like when people see that, they don't know how much you're getting paid to do something they don't got to. You know what I mean? The fact of the matter is, we did that shit, we got it done, and made it look good, and it was fun. Period. You know what I mean? Working with Jocelyn, with Armani. You know what I mean? Working with the bro, with Benny, and then doing what I just like seeing shit look dope. You know what I'm saying? So I don't be liking to say that I'm like. I mean, I know what director is and shit, but I feel like it just be like a lot of stuff when you gotta do it is just letting it be done with other people well enough to see something dope. Because even with the music, like I'll be doing my part in it, but like it's also the engineer, the producer, you know what I'm saying, and then me being around them and allowing them to know me, you know what I'm saying, and get comfortable and shit. Cause like my boy, we shot that joint with that camera right there. A VHS camera and my phone.
Yeah,
Just the Armani joint?
Yeah.
Yeah, did it in Buffalo?
No, we shot that in LA. Yeah. And then like we got a good team. I got Haji right there, so I'm like, yo, you gotta help me now. You know, and that's the bank of like,
that's the beauty,
you know, of energy niggas done put in it. It's bigger than money. It's like, yo, we be helping each other, so like, boom, I put that time in. Now it's like, yo, I need a few hours from you to check in on this joint. He put his sauce on it, and it's like, it just feel good. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Having your friends overlook the art and put it all out there together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. One thing I want to touch on the music stuff too. You said Republic heard the Fuck 5-0 record, and I was on Trap Rage. I think I got it downloaded on my computer, but it's not on DSPs no more. That Trap Rage, bro, when that shit dropped, that shit was crazy, bro.
What year was that?
Shit, 2016.
2017.
17?
Yeah. That whole year, like 2015 to 17, was Trap Rage until I put it out.
Yo, that shit.
That was your first project?
It was like not my first project. My first project was The Kid Who Sat by the Door, and I was like.
And what year was that?
That was like
Just to give people a time.
2013, I put that out, and that was like really 2012 time, 2011, but I put that out in 2013. That was just to show people like, yo, I make music, and I made a project with my songs or whatever. The Trap Rage was my, like, okay, after that, okay, you make music, can you make a vibe? Like, we doing shows and shit, and like putting the show vibe into a project. And that was fun too. Like I'll be scared to listen to that joint sometimes.
No snaps in my trap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, shout out to my dog Woods. More money, less violence.
Just working with my friends.
Yeah, bro. So it's like you played us some dope instrumentation like before we started recording. What can the people expect? Something like that?
Soon. I'm just working on everything regularly scheduled. You know what I mean? Just letting it flow. I got so boom. Not to be like that, doing that. It's November 17th. Neon Nights coming out with Kane Wave and Hidjiworld. That's
Video?
gonna be no. The track gonna be on like Apple Music and all this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That shit hard.
Not to be like plugging and shit. But like,
that's
brothers for
Talking about you.
Yep. And Kane Wave and Hidjiworld is two dope artists. You know what I'm saying? That inspire me and I've been working with.
So how'd that joint? Was y'all in the studio together when y'all did that, or was y'all sending it to each other?
No, that was in the studio. They came to New York. You know, I mean, the good thing about the space that I had in New York is I was able to like have my friends there, and we could just like sit somewhere and think about stuff while this crazy ass city is outside. They pulled up. We linked up with Camo. He made the beat right there. Then we was like shit, high off the shrooms or whatever, and got right to the studio and recorded that shit. And it was I feel like whenever we together, it's a good vibe. Like Kane got his own energy. Me and Hitch got a good chemistry together.
We gotta sit down with Hitch. He's still in Atlanta, right?
He might be here, but he back and forth from here in Atlanta.
Yeah,
He came here and shot a video. Yeah. It's like no matter where anybody is at, we always come home to make sure that like at some point in time, Buffalo received the flow of what's going on in the outside world and from somebody that's here that can deliver it, you know what I mean, to the people. Because it's like, it's the language of the land. Like, this is where I'm from. When I go anywhere, people hear Buffalo, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just down low and shit and bringing this shit back like an iPod, like, yo.
So so we might as well go right into the Don't Shoot Me project. So first off, the skits with Westside, was that like an actual conversation y'all had, or was that like pulled from an interview or some shit?
No, that was him talking. That was actual. All my shit be original content. This stuff coming from, that I heard with my ears and captured with some type of shit. But like, yeah, that was him in full Westside Gun mode, fly guy mode.
Dope.
Yeah, shit.
Yeah, man. Are you signed to Griselda, or is it?
No, heck no. I'm my own person. That's just my brother and my family. You know what I'm saying? And a full supporter of what I'm doing. And I support him. That's why it's like, I'm like, shit, I'm thankful. I'm blessed. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the baby boy in the mob family or some shit. You know what I'm saying? They're like, yo, we gotta take care of this guy. It's like, all right, I'm over here while everything is boom booming. Boom boom, bang bang.
So what is art money at? I seen the art money under there.
Art money is like, that's just my philosophy. You know what I'm saying? That's how I live my life. And it's like magic to me. Art in my mind is just my thoughts. And the money is people. And I had to change my mind about those words and change the connotation of them for me in order to manifest and achieve what I want from them. You know what I mean? From my art and from the money. You know what I mean? Because money is people. We are the money. You know what I'm saying? So either you got, and I mean just on some real shit, it's either you got money or you got people. You know what I mean? It's all about numbers. Either you got a lot of fucking people looking at you and believing in what you're doing, or you got a lot of money to just talk your shit. Yeah, straight up. Either way, you're gonna have to involve other people. Even if you got money, you're gonna have to spend your money somewhere. If your money not good, then it's like, it don't matter to have money. You know what I'm saying? You have to have relationships with people that understand what you're doing for it to communicate. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause that's, at the end of the day, that's all this life shit is about. It's like keeping it going and communicating. And for us, it's like we got an important mission as far as keeping our story strong, like what it is to be black and what it is to be anything. You know what I'm saying? So that's just like some human shit. You know what I'm saying? When I'm thinking about like we is like the forces of good and evil. It's like, okay, I'm not evil. I know I got evil in me because I can see it. I've had bad thoughts. I'm not a bad person, you know, so I'm doing the work. I know that's what side I'm on of things. And there are people that believe in that, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm thinking about, like people that's working towards that, like working against the ideas of white and black, you know what I'm saying? So that we could just be full in our expression and like just be without all of the fucking
attention.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? To be like, nigga, you know what the fuck I mean, like, you know what I'm saying?
Facts. So, what do you see for Don't Watch TV over the next like 5 years?
Over the next 5 years, man. Okay, we about to dream real quick because this is gonna happen.
Speaking into existence real quick.
I'm about to make this comic book. I'm about to write this story first of all, because it ain't just about a comic book. Anybody can have a fucking comic book. Like I'm writing a story, you know, and build this story with the comic book. Have this toy. We're gonna just keep dropping dope shit regardless, you know what I'm saying, and build everything up. And just keep telling the story of like how to sustain your happiness, because that's all I've been doing, you know what I mean? That's the story of TV Boy. And I see this shit being big as Star Wars, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just as far as like the different worlds that we can create, you know what I mean, the universes that we can create from it, and then seeing how to like, how everything, I'm the product, you know what I mean, so everything that I touch is gold. So I'm like, alright, it just made me not want to touch nothing until I feel like, alright, this is the thing that I need to be spending my time with, because none of this shit, all this shit is temporary. All the material shit is temporary. So the things that we make gold, in my mind, is like how we carrying on the future. This is what I want people to look at in the future. This is, and these are the reasons why. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just taking my time. I want people to look at Dr. Shoot socks. And Don't Watch TV Adidas. You know what I'm saying? Don't Watch TV is real.
That's alright. Can we expect any pop-ups anytime soon?
Definitely. And that's the dope part about pop-ups, is they gonna pop up on you.
Yeah. So let's say for a kid who's in high school, they're experiencing this lockdown, and they're an artist, and they wanna express themselves. What advice would you give to somebody like that, like right now, and like to carry them into the future?
Beat your meat.
Release that energy, man.
Get the 5-finger shovel. They gotta start gambling.
Yo, you gotta get it out, bro. Gotta get it out, bro. Nah, I mean, like, shit, you gotta express yourself. You know what I mean? Put that shit on the wall. And it's funny because he said skeet on the wall. You really gotta put it on the walls. Put it on the fucking wall. Put your players on the wall so you can see them shits.
Word.
Beat your meat.
Put your plans on the wall like we got right here.
It's like, remember something about Mary where he was like, you can't go out there with a loaded gun. Like, you can't go outside, so it's probably not good to be inside with a loaded gun. Like, just by yourself and thinking about shit. Like, get it out, then you can see the plan. You don't gotta be thinking about pussy and titties and shit. You can just like see the world. Cause it's a lot of shit, it's a lot of work, a lot of inner work to do. And that's the good thing about the downtime, is like people get to look at themselves, look in the mirror, spend some time in the fucking mirror for what it's worth. Like, look at yourself, ask some questions, and then hopefully like that'll set you off on a journey for like deeper self-discovery channel.
Word. Wise words from Don't Watch TV.
You know what I'm saying?
Anything else you want to touch on, man? Anything else you want to say to the people before we wrap up?
Nah, man, just make sure you brush your teeth. You know what I'm saying? That's important. Especially if you eating puss. You gotta brush your teeth. You gotta wash your face. You gotta go outside. I feel like that's the big thing. The big message with one of the messages with the Friends and Family collab is going outside, pushing the importance of going outside and not being controlled by the tools and devices like, you know, social media and your phone. Like, that's what we working against right now. You gotta go outside, enjoy life while you got it.
Where can we find your music?
You can find my music on SoundCloud right now. And until further notice, we got, you know what I mean, Google probably the best thing, 'cause that shit pull up everything. And I'm gonna have a website and all that stuff coming soon.
Yeah, that digital art gallery.
Yeah, straight up.
All right, bro. Appreciate you pulling up,
I
man.
appreciate y'all pulling up to the gallery, you know what I'm saying?
No, I'm happy we can do it here too.
Yeah, it's a
So,
blessing.
Yeah, it's definitely a blessing, man.
all right,
Do it
man.
right.
No Label to Pop. We out.
Peace.
Peace.
She watching me like a